Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding yourself completely cut off from the digital world. No internet, no WhatsApp, no way to reach anyone outside your immediate vicinity. That's exactly what just happened to millions of people in Afghanistan.
That's absolutely chilling. What exactly triggered such a dramatic shutdown?
Well, the Taliban leadership, specifically Hibatullah Akhundzada, issued this sweeping decree to ban fiber optic services under the guise of preventing what they're calling immorality. The numbers from NetBlocks, an internet access advocacy group, are staggering. Connectivity has plummeted to just 14% of normal levels.
So, we're talking about a near-total digital blackout. How unprecedented is this?
You know what's fascinating? This is actually the first shutdown of this scale since the Taliban seized power in 2021. Even major news organizations like the Associated Press can't reach their journalists in Kabul or provinces like Nangarhar and Helmand.
That must be creating some serious economic ripple effects.
Oh, absolutely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Afghanistan's digital economy, while still developing, has been a lifeline for many young professionals. We're talking about freelancers, online businesses, and countless families who depend on digital payments from relatives abroad. All of that just gone.
And I imagine this has huge implications for humanitarian aid coordination too?
That's exactly right. And here's the ironic part. The Taliban themselves heavily rely on social media and messaging apps for their own communications. They're essentially disrupting their own operational channels in this attempt to control information flow.
Well, that seems like quite a strategic miscalculation on their part.
You know what makes this even more complex? Tolo News, Afghanistan's leading private news channel, reported this could be implemented nationwide. We're not just talking about urban centers. This affects remote villages where internet might be the only connection to medical advice or educational resources.
Speaking of education, this must be devastating for students who've been relying on online learning, especially given the existing restrictions.
Right, and here's something that really puts this in perspective. In similar shutdowns around the world, we typically see economic losses in the millions daily. But in Afghanistan's case, it's not just about money, it's about survival. Many families rely on digital transfers for basic necessities.
That really frames this as more than just a technology issue. It's a humanitarian crisis in the making.
Exactly. And let me share something else that's particularly concerning. This kind of digital isolation creates perfect conditions for information control. When people can't verify news or communicate with the outside world, it becomes much easier to control the narrative.
How are international organizations responding to this situation?
Well, that's where things get complicated. Some organizations are exploring satellite-based internet solutions, but here's the challenge. Implementing these alternatives requires infrastructure and technical knowledge that's not widely available in Afghanistan.
Looking ahead, what do you think this means for Afghanistan's future development?
You know, in a world where digital literacy is becoming as important as traditional literacy, this kind of isolation could set Afghanistan back decades. Think about it. While other countries are racing ahead with digital innovation, millions of Afghans are being forced back into pre-internet communication methods.
That's quite a sobering thought for the future of the country.
And here's what really keeps me thinking about this situation. We're watching the creation of what you might call a digital iron curtain. The long-term psychological impact of this isolation, especially on young Afghans who've grown up connected to the world, could be profound.
Do you see any potential for positive change or resistance to these measures?
History shows us that information control often leads to innovation in resistance. But what makes this situation unique is the comprehensive nature of the shutdown combined with limited resources. It's not just about finding technical workarounds, it's about maintaining human connection in the face of increasing isolation.
That really puts the human cost of this situation into perspective.
And as we wrap up, I think that's exactly what we need to remember. Behind all these technical details and political implications are millions of real people whose daily lives have been fundamentally altered. It's a stark reminder of how central internet access has become to human rights and dignity in our modern world.